Hello, everybody. I'm gonna multitasking, so I'm here.
All right.
How you doing, Mr. Davis? I'm here with your daughter.
You doing?
Uh,
You treat my daughter okay?
no, you need to ask if she treating me okay.
Oh, is that what it is? All right now.
Yes,
All right.
but no, she is. We finished one meeting, and so I'm coming into this one.
Okay. All right.
So, but I'm listening, everybody.
Thank you. My apologies, everyone. My meeting kind of ran. How are y'all today?
All right. How's everybody doing?
Good, good.
Fine.
So we look like we have a majority. No. 1, 2, 3.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we need one more?
Yes, ma'am. There you
Oh,
have
there's
Tasha.
Tasha. There you go, right there. Right on time, Ms. Thomas. So good afternoon. I'm gonna call the Commission on African American History meeting to order. It's Monday, November the 1st. It's 4:05 p.m. Can I get Ms. Sylvia to do the roll call, please?
Sure. Evelyn Bryant,
Present.
Raymond Davis is here. Atiba Johnson, Kamika Siberry,
Here.
Tasha Thomas,
Present.
Nika Williams. Okay, Madam Chair, that's the roll call.
Thank you, Ms. Sylvia. So next on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from October the 4th, 2021. Has everyone had an opportunity to review those minutes?
No, Ms. Chairman, they have not, because Ms. Sylvia, if I'm not mistaken, Sylvia, you sent them to my deputy on Friday, so I have not looked at those. So I would ask that you either table it to the next meeting, or if you want her to give a verbal, she could read them, but I have not had a chance to look at them.
I can read them.
You sure?
Sure.
Okay.
Commission on African American History, meeting minutes, October 4th, 4:02 p.m. Commissioners present: Willie Black, Evelyn Bryant, Raymond Davis, Sylvia Ezelon, Atiba Johnson, Kamika Seabury, and Tasha Thomas. Commissioner absent: Anika Williams. Present: Penny Spicer Seabury, City Clerk. The meeting was called to order by Commissioner Evelyn Bryant, Chair. Roll call was done by the Secretary. The motion to accept the minutes of the September meeting. Commissioner Willie Black made the motion. It was seconded by Commissioner Kamika Seabury. The motion passed. Old business. Updates on the following. A historical marker about H. Eaton Senior's residence. City Clerk Penny Spicer Seabury is trying to contact Beverly Tettleton to do a historical study on the property. North Carolina African American Heritage Commission. Commissioner Evelyn Bryant met with Angela Thorpe, head of the commission, on October 19th. Information will be shared with the commission. C. Marker for Central Baptist Church. The commission is collaborating with the state and other groups and is waiting for Sonia Patrick's version of the program. There are versions of the program. The city clerk will format the program and build an invitation list. 50 will be issued. The city will cover the expenses for the reception. Middle of the island will cater the event. D. Isla Speller's request. Commissioner Kamika Seabury had a meeting with Mrs. Speller. Commissioner research on the North Carolina Civil Rights Trail. Mrs. Speller desires a marker to be placed in the downtown area on Princess or Chestnut Street. A letter from the city is needed. Mrs. Speller also wants a letter from the commission in support of the marker. Gregory Congregational Church's plan for a museum. The city clerk is waiting for the pastor to provide more details. New business. The city clerk provided information about upcoming events in which the commissioner's presence is needed. A flyer of the upcoming events for the 120th anniversary of 1898 Wilmington Massacre was emailed to the commissioners. Commissioner Seabury expressed concern about the time of the events for those who work certain jobs. The meeting was adjourned by the chair at 4:30 p.m., submitted by Sylvia Ezelon.
Sylvia. So everyone's heard the minutes October meeting. Are there any questions, changes? Everything's good? If so, can I get a motion to accept the minutes as is?
Miss Evelyn, couple just things, not a big deal. Miss Seabury's name, the spelling of her name, Kamika, is Kemeka. And yeah, in the paragraph down where it says, under the marker for Central Baptist Church.
Yes.
It's not the marker for Central Baptist Church. That's
okay.
Your Kirk marker after at Central Baptist Church. So I'll just correct that. If it's okay with the commission, but that's the marker, the state marker. There's the Reverend Dr. Kirk state marker. And then as the city will cover the expenses for the reception, it should say the county will cover the expense for the
Okay. Thank you.
And I'll get them sent out. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to look at them.
Do we have a vote on the minutes?
You do.
Okay. Okay, I would like to make a motion that we accept the minutes with the updates that the city clerk has provided.
Can I get a second?
Second it.
So a motion made by Ms. Tasha Thomas, second by, is that Mr. Davis?
Yes, it is.
All in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. No nays. Motion is carried. So the minutes of October has been approved. So we're on to old business and the updates on projects, and Mr. Black is not on. So moving on to part B, partnership with North Carolina African Heritage Commission. So I had a great conversation with the director from the North Carolina Commission. And she basically gave me some updates of what was going on. We talked about the North Carolina Civil Rights Trail, and I'm hoping that later on Miss Penny can kind of talk about Friday's event, meaning you know what I mean, right? Okay, good. I couldn't get it out appropriately. But anyway, the North Carolina Civil Rights Trail, from what I'm understanding, it was only funded for about 50 more in North Carolina. The deadline for submission was October the 31st, which would have been, what, Saturday? Sunday? And the next time it's open again, if I'm not mistaken, is in August of next year. Or maybe the deadline is August for next year. But like I said, we only have 50 more they're doing for the state of North Carolina. And
Yeah, that was discussed last meeting. So,
well, what I'm doing right here is kind of talking about, I had conversation with, or an update from the conversation from the state on several different things.
okay, I apologize.
No problem. So, but in speaking to her, because I kind of explained to her, we were doing several different things here in Wilmington. Like we were able to name bridges after people that were from Wilmington, or street names. And she was impressed by that because she said that not too many cities were doing that in the state of North Carolina. Some they were doing were partnering with us, like the national registration is the registration and the Federal Institution of Museums, and working on them. So we talked about even if we do other markers, or she even mentioned tabletops that depending on what they were, would not mind if they could helping us with those projects. So as far as partnerships, she was very interested in knowing what we would be doing upcoming and being able to help and participate in those. So we talked about programs, markers, and like I said, the North Carolina Civil Rights Trail. The other thing, state market is out of funding. So there's no funding for that any longer, but recommended that if we had ideas or things that we wanted to do and wanted to get the state involved in, that that would be something that she would work with us. And I'm gonna give you some examples. So Asheville and Buncombe County talked about and my question to her is, well, what does this look like? So one of the things that I'm concerned about here in Wilmington is, we work through the city and we guys together initiative going on. So what roles do we play in that? And how can we make sure that our mission is ongoing as far as making sure that we are the community or aware of people, places, and things that are significant as far as history in our community when it comes to African American people. So I know that was a lot of information. Like I said, we were going to reconnect again. She's going to information from other counties or other cities about what they were, how we can make sure that what we is significant and the state be a part of it. And that's kind of all I have right now from that conversation.
Commissioner Bryant, is there any way did she discuss the virtual aspect of it, of the civil rights?
As far as going on and looking,
Well, I understand going on and looking at it, but even if someone is not chosen to be on the actual marker trail, but if they're on the virtual, because that's two components to the civil rights trail. It's the virtual part, and then it is the physical marker that's being placed and given that. But did they discuss like how that criteria of how things are chosen?
no, and that's a good, we didn't talk about the virtual. So I could definitely reach out, find out. In fact, I would like to, if possible, maybe sometime next year, invite to one of our meetings. Because as we move on, it's the end of the year, and I know we had talked about, you know, anything upcoming for next year, like we were doing the Emancipation Proclamation. Seemed like that took long, but and we just got a break. But and I know it's a lot of things going on, like the 18th commemoration, but you know, just keeping in mind what are we going to be doing for next year, or what are our plans as far as a commission to make sure that we continue our mission. Any other questions, comments, suggestions? None?
Chair Bryant, can you repeat that last statement you made?
I was asking if there were any other comments, suggestions, anything, questions?
I'm sorry, right before you said.
Yeah, many questions. If none, I just want to around to Ms. I know Friday I had received, and Kamika, you may be a part of this, received an email in reference to the request about Dr. Eaton. And I wanted to verify with Ms. that, because email read was that you needed a letter of support from the county to make sure that the county understood that this was our project. And I want to know, did we ever find that out, Ms. Penny?
Okay, so, no, the county is claiming it as their project. So if we can go back. And this is what I was a little leery about, because while we want to work in harmony and collaborate with the county's Commission on African American History as much as possible, as a city commission has been in existence long as you kind of set the tone and set the bar. And so what I fear has happened, especially this project, Ms. Speller started with the city, which was appropriate because she was very familiar with what the commission has. And she had already completed the application when she reached out to the mayor and council, and they turned it over to the commission, and Ms. Sidbury started working with her because it wasn't quite clear on what it was she was missing, but what she was looking for was someone to help her through the application process and then give her letters of support. And what the city said was, that's fine, do your due diligence, work with the commission, and see if we can get it on our radar screen. So mistaken, Ms. Sidbury did the research. Ms. Sidbury met with Islam, and Ms. Sidbury told her to try to get a handle on what it was that she was missing, on what she needed to do, and that's where the do, as well as where we are here. And so the only piece that was missing was getting her to understand the paperwork out and let's go from there. So she filled the paperwork out, is my understanding. Of course, that's in the letter that you got from the state. And she submitted it. And when she submitted as working in collaboration with the Commission on African American History. Remember, she wanted to have the marker done downtown, whether it was on the county building, the courthouse building, in the walkway, on the trail, yada, yada, yada. And what we explained to Ms. Keller is that the city and controls all the things we need to control as far as placing markers. The county does. Then she narrowed it down and said she wanted to put it on a building. And Miss Adrian, I think her name is Adrian,
Right.
from the state, sent that note to you, Evelyn, to say, we've got this application. It looks like a great idea, but we're looking for a letter of support because now Ms. Islam says she wants to put it on the county building. And before you can respond, Evelyn, she went ahead and reached out to Linda, Chris Kudray. And when she reached out to them, they immediately kept the project. I'm still waiting for a copy of the letter that they submitted because I haven't seen the county commissioners meeting today. But I'm going to ask for a copy of that letter because that project started as a city project. Now, so be it. But we've got to give a report back to our mayor and city council with this particular to check the box if that makes any sense to you. And that's because at the end of the day, when the county takes ownership to this, they're going to look back to the city and the program and to finalize it. And that's not fair to you all as a commission because it started with you all. And so I'm going to give me a copy of the letter to see exactly what it says. Because I was thinking that Adria knew that it was a city project, but reading you, I didn't get that. Okay, I didn't get that from her email.
Right. And that's kind of basically what she made reference to. They were just looking for letters, so she didn't know. And yeah. All right.
I'll keep you posted once I hear back from.
All right. Thanks. So an update on the marker, Ms. Penny.
Yeah, that is scheduled for Wednesday, the 10th, which is next Wednesday at 12 o'clock noon. It will be at the park. And it will be followed by a reception here at City Hall. I have a copy of the program that I've drafted that I'll email out, Ms. Chairman, that you all can see. As you all, Tanya kind of started with this and we're having to pick it up and go with it. But pretty much is very programs you've done in the past. Welcome by the mayor, prayer, the purpose of the occasion, having somebody explain the process on how we got the marker, remarks by Judge Mason, who is a former pastor of Central Baptist Church. Is one that submitted the application for the marker, and then Evelyn as chair with Pastor Kojo, who used to be on the commission, and closing remarks, and then we'll do the unveiling of the marker. The ceremony is at the 18th. Is at 3rd and Red Cross. I apologize. At 3rd and Red Cross. The marker, the sign, the nice sign is up. It has already been installed. It's covered with paper, but it is up. We got to take a picture today of it, so it will be on the front of the program. Of course, the reception is at City Hall. All commission members, we would love to have you at the event, knowing that some has to work. The reception is here at City Hall, and we only can have so many people at this reception. It's limited to 50 to 60. So that if you're interested in coming, you know you're going to. Please let me know. I need to get you a VIP 98 pass for this reception. And like we said, middle of the hour is catering it. It should be very nice. But I just need to know who to provide so that we can make sure everyone gets in. Also, Madam Chairman, I went ahead and got we talked about badges for commission members. We have them, if y'all can see them, they're really nice. This is Mr. Raymond's example. And it's, your name, the commission, and the city seal. And it's not paper or plastic. It's actually very nice. I'm sorry. And flip it on and wear it proudly. So everybody, I have one of these for everybody on the commission. We'll just collect them. If we can't keep up with them, we'll keep them. That name badge that I'm hoping will all your events. And that's it. I'll have to answer any questions that anyone may have about the program.
Any questions, any concerns about the event?
Just wanted to clarify the time. So it starts at noon at
Yes,
3rd and
ma'am.
Red Cross,
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
and the reception is immediately.
That is correct.
Okay.
Reception is
And
going
that's
to
the
be
Valiant Hall.
In council chambers.
council chambers. Okay.
All right. Any other questions or comments on that update? If none, we'll move right on. Ms. Kamika Sidbury, Commissioner Sidbury.
Okay, I'm taking myself off mute and showing my camera. Yeah. Trying to turn this.
Downward.
Yes. Am I supposed, I don't have any updates. I'm waiting for more information regarding the process and where we go from here. So I don't have any updates.
So just a quick question in communication with Ms.
I have not talked to Ms. Feller since our last meeting because I was just trying to see what we need to do. Process, I was trying to get more insight on how do we recommend, like once we look at a spot, how do we recommend a spot? And so she has not contacted me. I have not contacted, but so I'm just really being honest. I've discussed, I went to her site to have that introduction, and I mentioned to come to the meeting. But I have not heard from Miss Speller. Interested to understand. I know she wants the recognition to take, but as we discussed last meeting, there are only 50 sites, and prior to 10 of those sites, we have less than 50, because we have 40. Because 10 of those sites have to go into that are where county. Yeah. So 10 of those, so there are only 40 that are being given out in larger areas, because 10 have to go in rural areas. That's why I was asking, like, questioning, because on the virtual civil rights trail, just so that is there, that recognition is there. And then if we look at it from another vantage point, or what other recognitions are out there.
So I don't know if you understood or even if I mentioned it. So from what I'm understanding from the state, she had her application in, she got it in by the deadline. So that is consideration. They are going to their board to present to their board about the marker for Dr. Eaton. And if their board approves, it is happening. So that's why I was asking, because she's already done the application, submitted all the information. The only thing that was missing was that report. And so I think maybe she didn't understand what that was. And that's probably how the county kind of got involved.
The letter of support, she needed a letter of support, not only a letter of support, but she needed a letter from the landlord. In this case, the city, or if it's the county courthouse, then the county will be the landlord. So she needed a letter of support from the local agency, which would be, and then she needs a letter from the landlord. So it might be two different things that she needs from the county and the city, if that makes sense. She need a letter of support from us and then need a letter from the landlord from the county.
Right.
And,
Okay.
and that she got both from the county.
Right.
She got the letter of support that was written by Linda on behalf of the Commission on African American History. She got the letter from Chris Kudre as county manager for the landlord of the property. And so that might be why you didn't get a return phone call, but I'll know for sure once Linda gives.
And so, I mean, I didn't know because I was saying, okay, so what do I do? How do I go about? It's not that, how do I say this? I guess perturbed, but it's just like, okay. But I did know I know, like I knew that that's where because when I did the webinar, that's what they were telling us. I mean, telling us visited that this is what needed to be done. And so that's how I knew that she needed a letter of support and she needed a letter from the landlord.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at this point, we'll just wait to advise us on what.
Yeah, I just need to, okay, do we need to give an additional letter of support or?
No, she's
or just
already
leave it
done the
alone?
application and
Yeah.
got the application. So all that's done. They just needed the information by Friday. So when they have their meeting, they will put their board to vote on whether or not they're going to put it here.
But yeah, I mean, okay.
Yeah. Good. Any questions, comments? None?
Mm-mm.
Okay. The next thing is request for Gregory Congregational Church. Ms. Penny?
Got anything else from the pastor, so I'll do a follow-up with him. He was supposed to provide us with some information. You remember, he's the one who's in.
Right. Okay. Thank you. So on business, 1898 events, and I know that y'all have gotten an email, Ms. Penny, in reference to the upcoming events for this week and next week, and I'm really hoping that everybody participate. If not,
Can't hear you, Evelyn.
He's on mute. You're still on mute, Evelyn.
Are you going to give the updates for 1898?
I can. Yeah, I can. Okay, so everybody the flyer, and I'll send it out. I'll keep as much as I can. Things kicked off today. The county commissioners, as we speak, issuing or approving a proclamation for 1898 today. They start at 4. The city will do it on Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. So if you all will the council meeting, as chair to receive it from the mayor. But we're going to do a proclamation as well for the 1898 remembrance. On November the 5th, the fact that myself, Evelyn, and Ms. Siberry signed up for the virtual race and reconciliation event that's going to happen. An email went out that, and you had to go in and register, although it's virtual. So I know that we're signed up for that. On November the 6th, Saturday, which is this coming Saturday, that's the commemoration, community remembrance. At 2:00 at the 1898 park with the soil collection project. And that event is being done, 98 commission folks, all the folks that were involved, and that's probably going to run from about 2:45 is what I'm told. We will leave, or we're going to be at the cemetery at Pine Forest Cemetery, but they will start boarding about 2:30 on that day to transport people from the park to the Pine Forest Cemetery, because only so many vehicles will be allowed in the cemetery. And they're doing it as like a funeral procession. So they've got some family members that is going to be here. We've been able to get some donated limousine for the family. So it'll be like a real reenactment of a funeral procession. And it will go to Pine Forest Cemetery with an escort. The casket will carry on a horse and carriage. They will be escorted by law enforcement. They're asking folks if they don't want to ride the trolley, which we're hoping they will, but if not, park in the neighborhood somewhere. You're going to be responsible for your kids. A lot going on that Saturday because the veteran parade is going to be going on downtown at the same time. But we're getting people in and settled. 4 o'clock, the graveside service will start. Dr. William Barber, NAACP president, state president, is the speaker for that funeral. We're hoping that we can get through the funeral and finish up by 5 o'clock, no later than 5:30. That's over, we'll dismiss. Trolleys will start taking people back to the vehicles. And that will conclude a long day, but it's going to be a nice long day. So we're hoping that the weather is good and that folks will carpool if they're interested in coming. If mission members are planning to come and wish to volunteer, Chairman Evelyn is handling volunteers. They need help in the cemetery, like a church service, like you're an usher, helping to folks are not standing or sitting on the graves. There will be some chairs out at the graveyards. I think we got about 80 to 100 chairs. We'll have seating for folks, making sure people are moving along and that there's no one standing or sitting on a grave. So is in charge of volunteers. If you all want to tell her yay or nay to help with that. The Kappa or fraternity is helping us. So we've got a lot of folks that's helping us. Once we finish that ceremony on the 10th, that evening at 6, the Unity Celebration. That's a service that's going to be at Macedonia on New Center Drive. And there is where the keynote speaker will be in Chavis. So all of that is of activities and of remembrance. So I think it'll be nice weather. So if you all can be there, that'd be great. If you need anything or you have questions, please let me know. But I also think Dr. Chavis is probably going to be at the ceremony on the 10th because he will be in town. So after that marker ceremony, he will probably have some time to visit with folks and be here as well on the 10th. And that's all I got, unless y'all have questions.
Thank you, Ms. Are there any other questions, comments? In 1898 commemoration? None? Y'all are so quiet. Is it because it's a Monday afternoon? Well, I guess that's it for now. Any other announcements, comments?
Is there, Penny, do we know, is there at least one commissioner that will be present at each activity?
No.
I was just curious.
I can, but no, not every event, but I can double check. Because like I said, only a select few and told me which ones you're going to. I think we may be missing maybe 1 or 2, but I can double check that.
Okay. I'm going to try to attend all of them. And so if I'm not mistaken, is something going on even after these events. So I think the last day may be around the 18th of November.
Oh, wow, okay.
I think that they are independent of the calendar that the city and the county has put together.
Right.
So it's my understanding that Sonia Patrick has branched off and she's doing some individual at MLK and some other locations. But as far as this calendar of events, it's just city with NAACP and the 1898 Commemorative Committee. But I think what Tasha is asking for this week is from November 1st to make sure, or ask if we got someone making sure we got folks at all those events. So yeah, I will double check that.
So, if there's nothing, then we have an invite. Boundless by it's
At the museum. Yep.
I don't know if y'all can see this. It's a public sculpture honoring the United States troops. The unveiling is Saturday, November the 13th. And there will be a community session November the 13th and 14th. There will be music, storytelling, activities, food trucks, and more. Free admission, museum admission all weekend. And you can go online. I can, I'll probably try to scan this in and send it to everybody. But PNC Bank is the one, and Z Smith Reynolds Foundation are the ones sponsoring this. So if you're interested in going, you have to RSVP. And like I said, I will send it in or send it Ms. Penny to make sure that everybody has a copy of it. And it's from Cameron Art Museum. In gratitude for your support of Boundless, the new sculpture commemorating the United States Colored Troops, you are invited to an evening at Cameron Arts Museum. Preview the sculpture and new exhibition of Futures Past and meet the artists. Friday, November the 12th at 6 to 8 p.m. It's wine, beer, and hors d'oeuvres. Music is by Man Groove, and you have to RSVP by November. And like I said, I'll make sure that all of this is in an email so that you can, if you'd like to attend, you can RSVP. Questions, comments? None?
Can you send a copy of that via email?
Yes. Make sure that everybody gets a copy of both the invitation and the flyer for the exhibition.
Okay, thanks.
Well, if there's nothing else, I guess I can call this meeting adjourned.
Thank you all so very much.
All right.
Thank you.
y'all.
All
Have a
right.
great week. Hope soon.
Tomorrow night, I mean Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. All right. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Put the vote.
Yeah.
Bye.